Um, we're continuing our NASB, and yesterday we talked about sexual immorality, I believe. Yes. Bestiality, rape, incest, and adultery, and forms of idolatry, and basically putting anything before God is forbidden, and no other deceit. And then chapter 20 on human sacrifice and immoralities. I think we read this. I think so. Essentially, those who sacrifice to strange gods and to other spiritualities who are not of God, they are to be cut off. And it also says those who break any of these laws, it says it in chapter 20, they will be stoned to death for most, if not all, of these laws. So you can imagine how much the Lord had them in spot. Alright, so today we're going to read chapter 21 and 22. And I believe we'll read chapter 23 also. And yeah. And then tomorrow I think we might wrap up Leviticus. Alright, chapter 21, regulations concerning priests. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the priests, the sons of Aaron, and say to them, no one shall defile himself for a dead person among his people, except his relatives who are nearest to him, his mother, his father, his son, his daughter, and his brother. Also for his virgin sister who is near to him, because she has not had a husband. He may defile himself. He shall not defile himself as a relative by marriage among his people, so as to profane himself. They shall not shave any area of their heads bald, nor shave off the edges of their beards, nor make any cuts in their flesh. They shall be holy to their God, and not profane the name of their God, because they present the offerings by fire to the Lord, the food of their God, so they shall be holy. They shall not make a woman who is a prostitute and profane, nor shall they take a woman divorced from her husband, for he is holy to his God. You shall consecrate him, therefore, because he offers the food of your God. He shall be holy to you, for I, the Lord, who sanctifies you, am holy. Also the daughter of any priest, if she profanes herself by prostitution, she profanes her father. She shall be burned with fire. The priest who is highest among his brothers, on whose head the anointing oil has been poured, and who has been consecrated to wear the garments, shall not uncover his head, nor tear his clothes. That's right, I saw it. Nor shall he approach any dead person, nor defile himself, even for his father and his brother. Father or mother. Nor shall he leave the sanctuary, nor profane the sanctuary of his God. For the consecration of the anointing oil of his God is on him. I am the Lord. He shall take a wife in her virginity, a widow, or a divorced woman, or one who is profaned by prostitution. These he shall not take, but rather he is to marry a virgin of his own people, so that he will not profane his children among his people, for I am the Lord who sanctifies them. The Lord then spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Aaron, saying, None of your descendants throughout their generations who has an impairment shall approach to offer the food of his God. For no one who has an impairment shall approach. A man who is blind, or one who limps, or one who has a slit nose, or one with any conspicuous feature, or someone who has a broken foot or a broken hand, or a contorted back, or one who is a dwarf or has a spot in his eye, or a festering rash or scabs or crushed testicles. No man among the descendants of Aaron the priest who has an impairment is to come forward to offer the Lord's offerings by fire, since he has an impairment. He shall not come forward to offer the food of his God. He may eat the food of his God, both of the most holy and of the holy. Only he shall not come up to the veil or approach the altar, since he has an impairment, so that he does not profane my sanctuaries. For I am the Lord who sanctifies them. So Moses spoke to Aaron and to his sons and to all the sons of Israel. Carranza family, God bless you. Welcome in. How's it going? Okay, chapter 21. You're doing good? That's great. Chapter 21. I'll be honest, I don't want to summarize it right now. Let's instead summarize it in as we finish this book, or this reading. Okay, so chapter 22, various rules for the priest. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Tell Aaron and his sons to be careful with the holy gifts of the sons of Israel, which they dedicate to me, so as not to profane my holy name. For I am the Lord. I love Jesus. Great. We all love Jesus. And as we love Jesus, he will give us the gift of eternal life. Amen. Say to them, any man among you all your descendants throughout your generations who approaches the holy gifts which the sons of Israel consecrate to the Lord, while he has an uncleanness, that person shall be cut off from my presence. I am the Lord. No man of the descendants of Aaron who has leprosy or has a discharge may eat of the holy gifts until he is clean. One who touches anything made unclean by a corpse, or a man who has a seminal emission, or a man who touches any swarming things by which he is made unclean, or touches any person by whom he is made unclean, whatever his uncleanness, a person who touches any such thing shall be unclean until evening, and shall not eat of the holy gifts unless he has bathed his body in water. But when the sun sets, he will be clean. And afterward he may eat of the holy gifts, for it is his food. This is the best life. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. He shall not eat an animal which dies or is torn by animals, becoming unclean by it. I am the Lord. They shall therefore perform their duty to me, so that they do not bear sin because of it and die by it because they profane it. I am the Lord who sanctifies them. No layman, however, is to eat the holy gift. A foreign resident with a priest or a hired worker shall not eat the holy gift. But if a priest buys a slave as his property with his money, that person may eat of it, and those who are born in this house may eat of his food. If a priest's daughter is married to a layman, she shall not eat of the offering of the holy gifts. But if a priest's daughter becomes a widow or divorced and has no child and returns to her father's house as in her youth, she may eat of her father's food, but no layman shall eat of it. If, however, someone eats a holy food unintentionally, then he shall add to it a fifth of it, and shall give the holy food to the priest. And they shall not profane the holy gifts of the sons of Israel, which they offer to the Lord. and thereby bring upon them punishment for guilt by eating their holy gifts. For I am the Lord who sanctifies them. Thank you for the like. I have to leave. I'll probably be here tomorrow. Okay, sounds good. Thank you, and sleep deep and rise to shine bright, and go in peace and seek the love of the Lord. Take care, Carranza. Carranza. Right. Flawless animals for sacrifice. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Aaron and to his sons, and to all the sons of Israel, and say to them, Any of the house of Israel, or of the strangers in Israel, who presents his offering, whether it is any of their vows or any of their voluntary offerings, which they present to the Lord as a burnt offering, for you to be accepted, it must be a male without defect from the cattle, the sheep, or the goats. Whatever has a defect you shall not offer, for it will not be accepted for you. When someone offers a sacrifice of peace offerings to the Lord to fulfill a special vow or for a voluntary offering of the herd or of the flock, it must be without defect to be accepted. There shall be no defect in it. Those that are blind, fractured, maimed, or have a wart, a festering rash, or scabs, you shall not offer to the Lord. Nor make of them an offering by fire on the altar to the Lord. Now ask for an ox or a lamb which has an overgrown or stunted member. You may present it as a voluntary offering, but for a vow it will not be accepted. Also, anything with its testicles squashed, crushed, torn off, or cut off, you shall not offer to the Lord, nor sacrifice in your land. Nor shall you offer any of these animals taken from the hand of a foreigner as the food of your God, for their deformity is in them. They have an impairment. They will not be accepted for you. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, When an ox or sheep or a goat is born, it shall remain 7 days with its mother, and from the 8th day on it will be considered acceptable as a sacrifice of an offering by fire to the Lord. But whether it is an ox or a sheep, you shall not slaughter both it and its young in 1 day. When you sacrifice a sacrifice of thanksgiving to the Lord, you shall sacrifice it so that you may be accepted. It shall be eaten on the same day. You shall leave none of it until morning. I am the Lord. So you shall keep my commandments and do them. I am the Lord. And you shall not profane my holy name, but I will be sanctified among the sons of Israel. I am the Lord who sanctifies you, who brought you out from the land of Egypt to be your God. I am the Lord. And quickly, just going to go glance over something. Can we get something? Okay. Okay, so we're going to read chapter 23, Laws of Holy Days, and that will be it, I believe. The Lord spoke again to Moses, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel, and say to them, The Lord's appointed times which you shall proclaim as holy convocations. My appointed times are these. For 6 days work may be done, but on the 7th day there is a Sabbath of holy rest, or of complete rest, a holy convocation. You shall not do any work. It is a Sabbath to the Lord in all your dwellings. These are the appointed times of the Lord, holy convocations which you shall proclaim at the times appointed for them. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month of twilight, is the Lord's Passover. Then on the 15th day of the same month, there is the feast of unleavened bread to the Lord. For 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. On the first day you shall have a holy convocation. You shall not do any laborious work. But for 7 days you shall present an offering by fire to the Lord. On the seventh day is a holy convocation. You shall not do any laborious work. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel and say to them, when you enter the land which I am going to give you, and you gather its harvest, then you shall bring in the sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest to the priest. He shall wave the sheaf before the Lord for you to be accepted. On the day after the Sabbath, the priest shall wave it. Now, on the day when you wave the sheaf, you shall offer a male lamb 1 year old without defect, as a burnt offering to the Lord. Its grain offering shall then be 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil, an offering by fire to the Lord, for a soothing aroma with its drink offering, 1/4 of a hin of wine. Until this very day, until you have brought in the offering of your God, you shall eat neither bread, nor roasted grain, nor new produce. It is to be a permanent statute throughout your generations in all your dwelling places. You shall also count for yourselves from the day after the Sabbath, from the day when you brought in the sheaf of the wave offering. There shall be 7 complete Sabbaths. You shall count 50 days to the day after the 7th Sabbath. Then you shall present a new grain offering to the Lord. Adam, God bless you. Welcome in. How's it going? You shall bring in from your dwelling places 2 loaves of bread as a wave offering, made of 2/10 of an ephah. They shall be of fine flour, baked with leaven, as first fruits to the Lord. Along with the bread you shall present 7 1-year-old male lambs without defect, and a bull of the herd, and 2 rams. They are to be a burnt offering to the Lord, with their grain offering and their drink offerings, an offering by fire of a soothing aroma to the Lord. I'm pretty good. How was your week? It was good. Nothing to complain. Yeah, it was smooth sailing, and while there was nothing particularly exciting, to be honest, it wasn't bad by any means. I see you're back home. No more noodles and no more noodles. Yeah, I'm gonna switch dorms. In fact, on the door of my room in my dorm, they have a QR code which leads us to a survey that allows us to, state our preferences, so we could choose to tell them, hey, we want to switch to this dorm. And that's what I did. I'm switching to another dorm, and it's going to be $1,200 more expensive, but it's worth it. This one, I don't know how to describe it. It's tacky, it's poorly maintained, and the other dorm that I'm hopefully going to move, if God is willing, it looks like a hotel. Good. Hopefully the new dorm is cleaner. Oh yeah, it's cleaner, all right. It looks more like a hotel compared to this other dorm, which I don't even know how to describe it. It probably looks like a very, very much a low budget hotel or motel. Yeah, sheesh. Sheesh is correct. It's not as bad as one of those low budget hotels that are dirty and are completely unclean. It's marginally better. Not too much better, but marginally. That being said, the uh, bathroom's horrible. It's not that it's badly made. It's rather that it's unclean, and even the inside of the urinals, it looks bad and dirty. I wonder how old they are. Quite honestly, either renovate it or demolish it. All right, where were we? Um, okay, here we are. You shall offer. By the way, how's work, Adam? You shall also offer one male as a sin offering, and 2 male lambs 1 year old, as a sacrifice of peace offerings. The priest shall then wave them with the bread of the firstfruits as a wave offering with 2 lambs before the Lord. They are to be holy to the Lord for the priest. On this very day you shall make a proclamation as well. You are to have a holy convocation. You shall do no laborious work. It is to be a permanent statute in all your dwelling places throughout your generations. When you reap the harvest of your land, moreover, you shall not reap to the very edges of your field, nor gather the gleaning of your harvest. You are to leave them for the needy and the stranger. I am the Lord your God. Again the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel, saying, In the 7th month of the first of the month you shall have a rest, a reminder by blowing of trumpets, a holy convocation. You shall not do any laborious work, but you shall present an offering by fire to the Lord. And last but not least, the Day of Atonement. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, On exactly the 10th day of this 7th month is this Day of Atonement. It shall be a holy convocation for you, and you shall humble yourselves and present an offering by fire to the Lord. You shall not do any work on this very day, for it is a day of atonement, to make atonement on your behalf before the Lord your God. If there is any person who does not humble himself on this very day, he shall be cut off from his people. As for any person who does any work on this very day, that person I will eliminate from among his people. You shall not do any work. It is to be a permanent statute throughout your generations in all your dwelling places. It is to be a Sabbath, a complete rest for you. And you shall humble yourselves on the on the 9th of the month at evening, from evening until evening. You shall keep your Sabbath. Again the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel, and saying, On the 15th of this 7th month is the feast of booths, for 7 days to the Lord. On the first day is a holy convocation. You shall not do laborious work, any laborious work. For 7 days you shall present an offering by fire to the Lord. On the 8th day you shall have a holy convocation and present an offering by fire to the Lord. It is an assembly. You shall not do any laborious work. These are the appointed times of the Lord, which you shall proclaim as holy convocations, to present offerings by fire to the Lord, burnt offerings and grain offerings, sacrifices and drink offerings, each day's matter on its own on its own day, besides those of the Sabbaths of the Lord, and besides your gifts, and besides all your vowed and voluntary offerings, which you give to the Lord. On exactly the 15th day of the 7th month, When you have gathered in the crops of the land, you shall celebrate the feast of the Lord for 7 days, with a rest on the first day and a rest on the 8th day. Now on the first day you shall take yourselves the foliage of beautiful trees, palm branches, and branches of trees with thick branches and willows of the brook, and you shall rejoice before the Lord your God for 7 days. So you shall celebrate it as a feast of the Lord for 7 days in a year. It shall be a permanent statute throughout your generations. You shall celebrate it in the 7th month. You shall live in booths for 7 days. All the native born in Israel shall live in booths, so that your generations may know that I had the sons of Israel live in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. So Moses declared to the sons of Israel the appointed times of the Lord. The word of the Lord. Praise be to God. Okay, so now that we have finished, we're going to go over what we just read. Various rules for the priest. Well, not that one. First, let's read regulations concerning priests. So the following applies to the priest. They will not dedicate any kind of memory to themselves except for any of their family members, blood family members. And they shall not marry prostitutes nor marry widows. They will marry virgins. The high priest, the highest among them all, he will not uncover his head or tear his clothes. Also, the same laws apply as to the other priest. How's it going, Christian? God bless you. Welcome in. Yep, I'm home for the weekend. He will not leave the sanctuary what else? Nobody who is impaired or has any kind of disability will offer food to God. So that's part 1 of the rules for priests. Chapter 22, various rules for priests. No one of their descendants shall offer to the Lord if they're unclean. I had an overall great day today. That's awesome. What did you do today? What else? They must be cleansed in order to offer to the Lord. And they shall not offer torn meat or an animal that dies already. No layman, which I'm not sure what layman is, will eat the holy gift, or a foreign resident with the priest or hired worker. That's what it is. But if a priest buys the slaves with his money, then they can eat it. If a priest's daughter is married to a layman, they shall not eat either. If someone unintentionally eats food, then he shall add to it a fifth of it to give to the priest. I just not ordained male member of church. Thank you. Flawless animals for sacrifice. Speak to Aaron and his sons and say, okay. Essentially, when you offer a livestock as a sacrifice or any kind of animal, you cannot offer it with any kind of blemish. No cuts, no warts, no skin conditions, nothing. It must be perfect condition. Not crippled, not sick, not anything. I just mainly worked. One of my neighbors contacted me for a new site for their headlamp restoration business. It hasn't started yet, but we got the groundwork for it going. Oh, okay. Okay. Headlamp restoration. Is headlamp like one of those lights outside? Or maybe I'm thinking of something else. What else does chapter 22 say? When an ox or sheep is born, or a goat, it'll be 7 days with its mother, and then after 8 days, you can offer it to the Lord. And it emphasizes, do not profane his holy name of the Lord. Chapter 23 is laws of holy days. Give me a second. The headlamp is the actual term for a vehicle's headlight. The headlamp is the light device itself, and the headlight is the beam of light it emits. Oh, okay. So they work on the vehicle lights and headlamps, as you say. Awesome. Nice. Let me know how that goes. Yes, he started a business restoring clouded headlamps. Yep, my Tundra has clouded headlamps. It almost looks like, I guess, 20 years back, it seems. It's actually 14 years old, I believe, but regardless, not that far from being 20. Okay, chapter 23. Essentially, you shall keep the Sabbath. For 6 days you can work, 7th days, or the 7th day of the week you will rest and not do any work. It also goes into detail about the Lord's Passover, On the 15th day, there will be a feast of unleavened bread to the Lord. For 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. The first day shall be a holy convocation on the seventh day as well. And also you must offer the first fruits of the harvest to the Lord. Again, it emphasizes offering the male lamb without defect as a burnt offering to the Lord is done. Plus a bunch of other offerings. Yeah, I'm not going to summarize this. I'm sorry. But it is it is a statute concerning give me a second. It's concerning the Sabbath and days of observation. Gracias. Okay. All right. So the first half of chapter 23 essentially keep the Sabbath. The Day of Atonement is like a day of Sabbath. And it is reconciliation between you and the Lord. And it gives the appointed times which the Lord will perform. Oh, awesome. How is he doing? Sorry. Yeah, how's he doing, I guess? And how long until he starts the, the business, the headlamp business? He's doing well. He's very ambitious about starting a business. I'm not sure how long it will take him to start, but he has already incorporated it as an LLC. Awesome. Yeah, I'm glad to see that he's starting and starting well. You know what? I think, believe it or not, I think I want to start an engineering company as soon as possible. Like, yes, internships and all that stuff, but honestly, if it's possible, I really want to get it started right out of college. That might be a lot to ask for, but I really want to establish it. and I guess get some head start. Yeah, I don't even care if it's a small company. I just want to get it started. But yeah, um, I pray. Um, yeah, I pray that he may be successful in what he does with headlamps and restoring that. Um, yeah, I just pray the best for him. Um, forgive me. I'm just here. I do want to share a bit of an update on the graphics from that I pitched to Calhoun High School. So, his name is Dominic. He reached out to me. He said that they use a program called Production Truck, which Production Truck, after doing some research, I found that it's a specialized software that allows you to control the score and such. It gives the opportunities to show overlays for different things. Now, after doing some research, I found out that of course it has its default overlays that will show the graphics, the score bug, and stuff. I don't believe that, well, I don't know. It might allow us to make a new custom score bug by means of making it into a new overlay, but nothing by default that allows us to do that. At least, I don't know. I'd have to, I guess, set up a appointment, perhaps. I wonder if Production Truck is also what the big networks use as well. Well, I could look it up maybe. What does CBS use for NFL scoreboard? Score tracking. Keep score. Huh? Oh, okay. Give me just a moment. Apparently they use something called Next Gen Stats Technology. Oh, no lo necesito. Y porque yo no lo voy a usar ahí.
¿Por qué?
Estoy trayéndome cosas del cuarto.
¿No es televisión?
No,
¿Por qué?
no necesito
Entonces, ¿qué haces para entretenerte?
computadora.
Oye, ¿por qué?
¿Qué?
¿Y por qué la dejaste allí? ¿No se la roban?
Sí. ¿Qué pasó? Ok.
¿Está el video? ¿Y el resto?
Pues yo puse video, puse...
Es que tú llevabas como 300 dólares.
Pues ahí están los recibos.
¿Dónde sacas los 200 dólares?
No sé.
César, ¿dónde está ese dinero? Llevabas como 1,300 dólares.
1,300.
Sí. ¿Dónde está el dinero?
No sé.
¿Lo perdiste?
No sé.
Dime la verdad, ¿dónde está ese dinero?
Pues perdí esta cartera hace en la mañana.
Ay, mi hijo, ¿dónde la perdiste?
Lo perdí ahí, la entrada para entrar al parque. Pero la encontré de nuevo. Bueno, la policía la encontró.
¿Y no le dijiste que el dinero no estaba?
Ni siquiera sabía.
Ay, mi hijo.
Bueno, si quieres yo les puedo decir a ver si tienen el dinero.
¿La policía lo encontró?
Sí.
Ay, mi hijito, ¿qué voy a hacer contigo? Traías 1,300 dólares, César.
Mamá, estoy vivo.
César, es lo más importante.
Ay,
¿Qué hiciste con ese dinero?
no sé.
¿Quién se lo robó?
Nadie se lo robó.
¿Y entonces dónde está?
No sé.
¿Cómo lo vas a ver?
Es posible que la policía lo tenga.
¿Por qué piensas que ellos lo tienen?
Pues no sé. Yo. La verdad no sé. Pues.
¿Por qué no revisaste tu cartera? La hubieras revisado luego. ¿Tú crees que para nosotros es tan fácil? Ese dinero nos podía servir para muchas cosas. Hasta los ahorros que traías allí doblados. Mira, está en tu cartera.
Hazlo rápido porque estoy vivo.
César, pues que tú puedes hacer así de irresponsable. El dinero que traías aquí, traías 300 aquí. Y acá traías como 900. ¿Dónde están?
No sé.
¿Cómo lo vas a ver?
No sé.
¿Por qué más te dejaron esto?
No sé.
¿Cuándo vas a preguntar?
No sé.
¿Mañana no está la policía de ahí?
Es posible.
Llama.
Ok. ¿Qué?
Lo siento, voy a tener que decirle a tu papá.
CBS certainly does have the second best graphics out of ESPN. The only exception is the final score bug, which is that blows ESPN out of the water. Yeah, I agree. Sorry, my mom just tapped me in. Yeah. I wonder what CBS will do for their next graphics package. Will they go like it looks good already, but only time will tell what it will look like next. But yeah, back to production truck. From Huddle. According to Dominic, it doesn't allow to make a score bug, a custom score bug, out of an overlay. We could be wrong though, but right now it doesn't, look like. Does it allow custom design score bugs? He says that it doesn't appear to, but I think it's possible to do it. It will just take a little more effort, but I think when all is said and done, it will be working. Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh, hold on. The scorebook designs are probably in some of the program folder somewhere where they can be replaced or modified, but I'm not sure. I never used the software before. It's possible. It's probably proprietary software though. Lincoln, Nebraska. And the thing is, there's no production truck for Windows. It's exclusively for Mac OS only. Which will throw another wrench at our, and also you have to pay for it. Which is yet another downside. Well, actually, let me see. They used to have a Windows version, but it is no longer available for download. Yeah, that's it's not good. That is not good. Apparently, in order to get this, you have to be an employee of the high school or whatever school or college team in order for them to consider you for purchasing these things. So it's not available to the general public. It's very much exclusively professional or business software, and nothing Nothing for personal. I'm going to assume the majority of your customer base was Mac based, so Windows sales were probably low. Quite honestly, I prefer Windows, but what else? Just Mac is heavily used in photo editing, photography, music, and the production and graphic design fields, but Windows is heavily used when it comes to the control side of things. Interesting. Before I started school at, studying at Tamuk, I went to their podcast room, and they were Mac OS. There's an iMac there, and I didn't like it because it was slow. So I decided not to use it, but rather stick to my laptop, which, even though it's falling apart, it's the best that I've got. If you go into any broadcast room, control room, like a TV station, for example, our computers, all the computers are all Windows based. Well, in that case, wouldn't it be more convenient to use Windows, because you're controlling the score, you're controlling the time, you're controlling timeouts. I'm not a fan of Mac at all. Yes, they are slow. In the field, we have to know how to use both systems, but I prefer Windows. It is faster, more reliable, and easier to use. Agreed. Uh-oh. No. Wait, Dillard's is from Arkansas? I didn't know that. Message retracted. I agree. Back in school, they would scoff at anyone who used Windows. They thought it was horrible. But the reality hit them in the face when they realized employers wanted people who knew both systems. Yeah, I never really used Mac. I've always used Windows. Although there was a brief time where I was, trying out Linux, which it's cute and all, but Windows suffices for me. But yes, Windows is faster, and they should use it. Sport on Mac, Windows, Photoshop, and Illustrator were originally written strictly for Windows. That's why Mac became the industry standard for graphic design, but that changed as Windows became capable of doing the same things. Yeah. Oops, I made a mistake. Originally written for Mac, not Windows. Okay, I'm on Facebook, and I see some photos. I'm not sure if they're real or if they're fake, but some of them are showing Aurora Borealis or something. Just some of the photos. Photoshop was written by a college student who needed a program that could manipulate pictures. He never intended it to be sold to the public, but that all changed when everyone saw its power. Sorry, I'm just checking out a few things here. So I'll stand by. There's those photos look rather real, but AI can make anything look real these days. Yeah, I don't know though. Like, it might be real, but I haven't seen an Aurora Borealis ever in Texas. I'll say that much. The newer IMAX screens have 5K resolution, which is why they're great for photography, video, and graphics. They are also calibrated for print design to match color accuracy. Yeah, those iMac monitors, they can be really expensive. In fact, Apple products are pretty darn expensive as a whole. Found some photos of the Borealis sun in Texas. Sun. I just said sun. Okay, let's look at this. I have a $500 ViewSonic Color Pro monitor, which is engineered for graphic design use. I love this monitor. Ooh. Color Pro. Okay. That's good. I'm using an NVIDIA GeForce RTX graphics card and connect the monitor with a rigid monster HDMI cable. NVIDIA GeForce RTX. Meanwhile, I just have a laptop that I bought at Best Buy, and I'm using Pixlr, and that's all I've got. And Aurora 3D Animation Maker, which is not even the most advanced. It's actually pretty cheap and crummy. No, really it is. What else? ViewSonic makes the best monitors ever. Industry professionals. Think of it as this way: ViewSonic is to monitors, and that's what VOS is to speakers. The only thing I don't like about ViewSonic is their logo. It looks bland. At least Bose, it looks a little more innovative. But ViewSonic, well, I don't know. Maybe it'll grow on me. But ViewSonic it looks like something that you'd see in 1995 on Windows 95. Maybe it'll grow on me. Maybe I'll become a fan of it. I actually like ViewSonic's logo. The birds represent the vibrance of the colors their monitors can display. Oh, I'm just talking about the text. The text. They've been using the same logo pretty much since their existence. Oh, they were founded in 1987 in California. Yeah, this is ViewSonic. And this is the other one right here. The text should be updated though. The wordmark is written in Times New Roman, which is a bozo no-no for any logo. They can keep the birds, but they should change the font. Yeah, that font looks like something out of 1995. Or out of like one of those old, what do you call them? Sorry, not hiccup, but rather like, you ever been to like one of those chats with support in the 90s? It would be in Times New Roman. That's what it reminds me of. OptiQuest. Let's look at that. OptiQuest. Oh, it's discontinued around 2009. What does their logo look like? Oh, okay. Not the sexiest, but it gets the point across, I guess. OptiQuest. Okay. Times New Roman is a newspaper, magazine, legal document, or school essay font. It's not great for anything else. Oh, I forgot for school. I forgot about essays. I remember that back in high school and early in college, they would make you write out some essays, and you'd have to type it in Times New Roman and font size 12 and double spaced and MLA. When it comes to graphic design, we need monitors that show every precise pixel, especially when designing for print. That's why Apple's 5K screens or ViewSonic's Color Pro are preferred for graphics. Agreed. I remember that. How do I still remember those essay requirements? I haven't had a high school since 2011, yet I still remember that, lol. Yeah. I remember when you had to write an essay about, for example, if you read Othello, You'd have to write about the story and the theme and the rhetorics and the plot. Which, I'll be honest, I didn't really care for that. It just doesn't captivate me. I took AP classes in high school, and those were the requirements when writing almost any paper. Oh, I remember AP. I also remember when I took the AP test because I qualified for free lunch. They gave me. I think the tests were like $90 each, but I only paid $9 because I qualified for free lunch. I remember that as well. We had the similar pricing for the tests as well as those who had free lunch. Speaking of free lunch, back in lunch, you would usually get the same things. You'd get a pizza, you get a hamburger with fries, some salad, or you'd get whatever was their special on the menu. Whether it be chicken fingers, turkey, all those things, really. And not only that, you would also get your daily dose of Borden milk. The new logo for Borden has. Borden is from Dallas, Texas. I didn't know that. As you know, some of my high school memories were more vivid related to other things, but how in the world do I remember these little minute things? We had Oak Farms milk back in high school. I used to love Schweppes chocolate milk, but they never had it. Yeah. From elementary all the way through high school, they had Borden milk. And I kid you not, I was in this thing called Champions Course. So basically, Champions Course is like, how do I explain? It's like you go to the weight room and train, you do some weights, or they have you do these little drills, like, I don't even know how to explain. Or they just condition you. That's how we train in football. And Champions Course was in the summer. So, Champions Course, there was one time that I got chocolate milk from there, and I kid you not, it tasted like film. Yeah, it tasted like the film that you'd use to take a photo, or film that you'd use to film a movie. That's how it tastes. Give me just a moment. No me acuerdo.
¿Cómo estás acordado ahí?
300?
No sé.
Creo que el resto, pues, gasté en comida.
Pues sí, pero no te podías ver gastando ese dinero. Nunca te gastas ese dinero.
Pues, quién sabe.
Mañana quiero que hagas cuentas.
Sí.
Escucha.
Sí.
Mañana haces cuentas para que sepas cuánto dinero te carga el fondo. Escucha.
Hazlo rápido.
Lo tienes que reportar. Ese dinero, escucha. Ese dinero no se va a quedar así. Lo tienes que reportar.
Okay. We had oaks. I would have checked the expiration date on that milk. I think it was still good, but it just went bad for whatever reason. I can't remember exactly, but I think it was still before the expiration date. But regardless, it tasted like film, and I thought I'd just share that. Mhm. I had an experience about a week ago where I accidentally drank carbonated health drink. Sorry. Mistaken it for a bottle of water. It tasted like tire rubber. Oh no. It burned my throat, made my stomach upset, and kept burping. It was horrid. Wow. Oh no. Oh no. I'm sorry about that. Wow. Carbonated health drink. I've heard of carbonated water, but carbonated health drink? I've never heard of that before. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm so sorry that you had to try that. But it is what it is. I was in church when it happened. I was in the office talking with my pastor, who was my client and friend. And I was grabbing a drink out of the small fridge in his office. I passed him a root beer and I saw what I thought was a bottle of water. I went up, started drinking it. It was like getting sucker punched in the face. Wow. Like, if you tried, what's it called? That one chip challenge, it's one of the worst things you can feel. But at least you know how it feels. This really catches you off guard. It does. He told me that it was the health drink someone gave him a while back. I was freaking out, not knowing what I drank. I was terrified, thinking I drank something poisonous. Yeah, that's crazy. So how did he react whenever he saw you drink it? Speaking of church, we are having a memorial service Sunday for a fellow member whose wife passed away last month. I'm designing the graphic that will be displayed on the TV during the service. May that person rest in peace. May that wife rest in peace. He was called, but simply informed me I drank the healthy drink someone brought. Okay. If I had drank that myself, I'd probably just be like, "Ooh, what's this? Oh, that tastes awful." Probably just curious, though, what it is. Give me the one chip challenge any day. I have a high tolerance for spicy foods, but zero tolerance for bitter carbonated stuff. Yeah. What are the stories about that we have? Well, that's crazy. Actually, yeah, I'm speechless. I'm going to show you the graphic in Discord. Okay. I'll tune into Discord in just a bit. I'm just looking at a lot of miscellaneous stuff. I'm looking at NFL Today from a year ago-ish. Not quite a year ago, but around there. Looking at some Dillards. All that great stuff. Huh. Dillard's is apparently oh. Oh, never mind. I thought it was closing location across Texas, but it's oh. Rest in peace. I always thought Dillard's was based out of Dallas for some reason. Well, not Dillard's, but Borden is based in Dallas. But Dillard's apparently was founded in Arkansas. Same as Walmart. I did not know Tiffany as I have not been a member of this church very long, but I wanted to do something nice for the memorial service. Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, she's in a better place. She's no longer suffering. Oh my goodness. No! Oh man. Walmart has so many stores in Texas versus the other states. They should just relocate their corporate HQ here. Yeah, but then all the people of Arkansas are going to say, oh, Texas is now stealing our stuff. Think about it. Texas has already taken Kentucky Fried Chicken. It may as well be called Texas Fried Chicken. Texas already stolen Walmart from Arkansas. Texas has the most Walmarts in the country. I guess so. Yeah. I wonder if KFC's move to Texas could also prompt their sister brands Taco Bell and Pizza Hut to move here as well. Maybe. Oh! Wait a second. You want to take a guess where Pizza Hut is headquartered? Taco Bell is headquartered in California. And Pizza Hut in Plano, yeah. So Pizza Hut is already in Texas. Meanwhile, we have Irvine. That's where Taco Bell's from. Yeah, right now. Yes. But Pizza Hut has already made the move to Texas. I didn't even know that, to be honest. I just realized that now. For years, I thought Pizza Hut was headquartered in Kansas. They were founded in there. KFC and Pizza Hut, I will believe, will share offices in Plano. What? Are you kidding me? Okay. Here's something crazy I found. I'm looking at the Wikipedia page for KFC. Oh, wait, that's the. Hold on a second. KFC Corporation founded Sanders Court and Cafe March 20th, 1930, 95 years ago. North Corbin, Kentucky, U.S. First franchise September 24th, 1952, 73 years old. South Salt Lake, Utah, U.S. And then it's headquartered in Louisville, Kentucky, U.S. and Dallas, Texas, U.S. Global. I didn't even know they were technically founded as the first franchise in Utah. And Yum Brands is from Kentucky. There it is. Years ago was a subsidiary of PepsiCo. Yeah, Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville, Kentucky, also home to GE appliances. Tricon Global spun off from Pepsi '97. They became Yum Brands and immediately upon spinning off. I'll be honest, I didn't even know Yum Brands. Let me check that again. Yeah, Yum Brands is a public company. I didn't even know that. PepsiCo also Frito-Lay as well, which is headquartered in all three still carry Pepsi products in some cases, like with Taco Bell. Frito-Lay products. Mm-hmm. That's insane. Yeah, truly I say that Texas is the land flowing with milk and honey. PepsiCo got rid of Tricon because they wanted to focus on their core business, which were soft drinks and snacks. Understandable. Plano is also home to the Stars as well. For real? It doesn't say it on here. The Stars moving to Plano is the reason why the Mavs are suing them. Their contract says the Stars have to remain headquartered in Dallas. I see nothing here on Wikipedia. Let me look at that. Stars, Mavs, lawsuit. Oh, okay. I always thought that Plano was even more to the north of Texas, like more close to Amarillo or even Lubbock. Well, I guess I got my geography wrong. My bad, they haven't moved yet, but are considering moving there. That's what prompted this lawsuit. Why would they want to move out of Dallas, though, and into Plano? Plano is a suburb of Dallas-Fort Worth, affluent. Apparently, the Stars see potential for a new venue that is larger than where they are now. Plano seems where they see the potential. What do you think, though? Should they look for a new arena in Plano, or should they remain downtown in Dallas? And in general, do you believe they should be headquartered or playing downtown in the cities if it permits it, or should they go in the suburbs for all teams? This goes for all teams that have all the resources available to make whatever decisions. I think they should stay in downtown Dallas, because that's where all the action is. But if they feel they're outgrowing their current venue, maybe a move is the right choice. Quite honestly, I guess I prefer them to expand, um, you know, expand American Airlines Center or something. But where those teams from should not be dictated by their lease. To me, that is just crazy. Okay. Yeah, hopefully this suit can be resolved one way or another. In Houston, many teams went their separate ways after the Astrodome shut down. The Astros moved to the much larger Dyken Park, and the Texans moved to the much larger NRG Stadium right next door. How old is NRG Stadium? Wait a second. The Texans have always played at NRG Stadium. They've never played at the Astrodome as their main stadium. That was the Houston Oilers. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm just looking around at that. NRG Stadium was built in 2002. Yeah, and when did the Texans enter the franchise or enter the NFL? True, I got my teams mixed up for a second. The last use of the Astrodome ever was Hurricane Katrina Refugee Center back 2005. Yeah. I remember that really wrecked Louisiana. It wrecked I-10, and I think they had to use the Superdome as sheltering. Yeah, that's very sad what happened. The Texans first became a team in 1999 due to the Oilers moving to Nashville. Okay. Now, when did the Texans start playing though? I did a podcast episode last year talking about the Astrodome revitalization project that was announced around this time last year. The Texans began playing in 2002. Yep, exactly. So they've always played at an NRG stadium since the beginning. Oh, by the way, check out this nice, neat animated background. New stadium, new team. Exactly. I love this background that they have for CBS. I want to make it my screensaver. What do you think? LA Chargers. If only you could download that background, recreate it, and convert it into a screensaver. Yeah. But I wish I could contact CBS and they could send me the file and I could convert it into the proper format. That would be cool. Oh. Yawn. Fun fact about screensavers that were invented mainly for CRT screens to prevent screen burn. Since it's not a thing anymore, they were just used for fun. Yeah. I'm using a classic Windows 98 screensaver on my computer because I felt nostalgic. I'm using the flying Windows screensaver. Yeah, being from 2003, you'd see lots of Windows XP Professional or Home Edition or whatever. Microsoft Windows XP just over there in the background. Really not doing by nothing much but just teleporting instantly. Yes, it is possible to round up old Windows 95, 98 screensavers on Windows 11. Yeah, it is. Sure is. I wonder if CBS uses that as their screensaver. That blue thingy. Oh, back in the Astrodome, I really hope they do convert it into the Mega Center they want to turn it into. Yeah, I wonder what that will look like if they do go through with this. That blue thing is a motion graphic they use exclusively. The IT department doesn't have access to it. Yeah. So unless you break into their motion control room, you can't access it. By any means. Oh man. Moving along. There's two more things. Speaking of CBS, the bidding war has officially begun of this week. Yep, it's Comcast, who's one of the major companies that are being talked about. There's also, of course, Paramount, Skydance, and Netflix. Netflix, I feel, isn't talked about as much, so, you know. Comcast has already said they have no interest in the cable networks and only want the studios and the streaming. Okay. Netflix does not want the cable either. Cable networks. Paramount is the only one that is willing to get it all in one package. And Disney said they have no interest in bidding at all because they feel content with everything they own already. Okay. Look at look at how CBS treats this. It just flickers for whatever reason. Paramount Warner merger would mean the new company would own 25% of the CW. Yeah. Um, Looks like somebody at CBS Graphics Control Department was probably falling asleep at the panel. LOL. Well, that's apparently one of their um, what do you call them? Like transitions or something? Or yeah, I don't know. Apparently. Yeah. But during talk coverage, not so much. The transitions. Yeah, they're still using the old transition styles from 2021 when they broadcast what was it called? Super Bowl 55. You know what I really love though? This. It looks beautiful. What I love is like these little bits. See how they move? And that nice texturing that gives them some oomph. Maybe some bump mapping could make it pop even more, but this looks great. That game day delivery graphic is stellar. They gave the CBS eye some character with those little details. Yeah, that looks beautiful. And quite honestly, one of my favorite parts of CBS's coverage. Undoubtedly. Yeah, NBC, if you think about it, it's dated. It's got the oldest graphics of the bunch. Well, if you don't count the ticker from Fox, which is, or actually they don't use it on NFL broadcasts. It's more other broadcasts, but still, that thing has been in use since 2017, I believe. But apart from that, that's beside the point. NBC's graphics, they've been in use since 2022. Apart from the other stuff that CBS uses that they haven't updated since 2021. Which I have no idea why they would keep those. It mismatches. I guess because it's lightweight. But it does kind of clash with the rest of the graphics. NBC needs a better final score bug. Yeah, they do. And, well, you know what? I'm going to show you what they have Let me see if I could pull up Rams versus Sunday Night Football full game. Let me do some research first. Because I want to get the facts straight. Well, I tell you, the CBS final scorebook is unbeatable right now. Yeah. The only real competitor that comes to mind is ESPN. Apart from that, CBS is supreme. I wonder how that could affect the graphics. They might do a full overhaul. I don't think they might update the remainder of the graphics that they didn't update, because there are many graphics still that use the older style from 2021, which is a flat style. Well, I'll show you in just a moment, but it's flat. It doesn't connect to the old, or to the new ones, which are 3D and neon accented. Let's go to the 2-minute warning. Advertisements. I wonder when they finally move on for 2021. They probably will keep it around for a while because it's lightweight and it's simple, but I just don't see it connecting well with the other graphics that are much more advanced in design and in architecture. Hold on. Yeah, I can't find it. I was gonna show you something else. Should they overhaul, they should keep the final scorebook at least. Yeah. Oh, actually I can show you on Dish. Yes, I still got Dish, but we might move on from Dish after this year. Not because I want to, but because my parents think it's too expensive and stuff. I'm going to show you what they used. CBS used first for, as you call it, the final score. A lot of people still have Dish. Yeah. So this is back in the divisional championship. This resembled one of their older designs from their previous package. Slightly different, open than that. That was last NFL season. And now we compare it to what they use now, which, if we pull it up, this is, this is one of their, I like the opening animation. Yeah, it looks good. I'm just going to show you this one, but it looks awesome as well. But I want to compare it to the other one, which is, if we pull it up here, then we will see it. I'm just taking my time because, I don't want to miss it. Yeah. We know the kick is good. Now, let me get to my score bug. Let me get to it. Come on. Nope. No. Go further. Go further. Okay, what just happened? Oh my. No way. It's gonna make me. Okay, here we go. And of course, this is the one that is today. I guess. Oh wait, wrong play. There's the touchdown. There is 19. Okay, this is what it looks like. Oh, it's here. A lot different. Here it is again. The current and final scorebook is larger and more dominant on the screen. An improvement, especially for the visually impaired. Yeah. It looks a lot sleeker, a lot more innovative, and I think it's just beautiful. Here's also what CBS used before they had that graphic that I say looks a lot like a gaming, something out of Madden. I really love the Xbox X look of it. Yeah, this is their previous score and makes more use of white. The halftime score bug is rather simple but still sleek. Yeah, um, that one looks pretty good. It does. But I do agree. The old one is even better. Okay. I got a lot of old football games from last year in my recordings here for. Uh-oh. My heads up, we've detected video in your stream belonging to someone else. Your stream may be temporarily blocked. If you plan to continue, please ensure that the content owner has added their channel to their allow list. I never seen this before. It's okay. No need to worry. We're still good. But there's one last thing I want to show you that NBC uses. Now, I'm just. Oh, here we go. This is what happened to Adam that one time. Yeah, he got warned. No. Actually, from what I see on Reddit, the font used on these scorebooks is all Sans Pro. Yeah. That's, I believe, the same font that the NFL website uses. It is. And this is what NBC uses alternatively. Okay. And this is what it looks like. Okay. That's all that I'm going to show you for now, just in case. Okay. So that's what I wanted to show you. Alright. NBC's final scorebook looks very 3D and futuristic. Yeah. That other one that they use, That's the one that they use when they're showing a replay, like if there's a touchdown or if there's a replay of interest or anything. That's what they use it for. Yes, the NFL website still uses all sans. Yeah, also uses all sans. Yep. You know what? Now that I think about it, Fox really hasn't had any good graphics. Apart from 2004, 2005, you know? And a lot of people love what they used back in 2010 through 14 or 15 or whatever. But apart from that, they've really had. Oh, the ones they introduced in Super Bowl 54 were pretty good. In fact, I may start using it now for different projects. It's very simple and better than the more generic fonts that are overused. Yeah, that's your go-to. My go-to is TT Norms Pro. That's the same font that CBS uses for many of their graphics stuff on not just their NFL coverage, but even their logo. They have TT Norms Pro. Apart from that, there's also it's also used for TT. It's the letter T typed twice or double T, and then Norms Pro, NORMS space PRO. Here's an example of CBS using some graphics from 2021's era. See how flat that is? This is from last year, and even then, they introduced some of the graphics they used today last year. Yeah, I got it. I believe that's also used for CBS Sports Network. Yeah, it's the same property used across CBS's various platforms. Um, yeah, that is true.
Mañana cuentas de cuánto dinero se me recibo. A que sepas cuánto dinero perdiste. ¿Y sabes cómo se llaman? ¿Cuáles policías fueron?
Tengo una idea, pero no soy seguro.
¿Te recuerdas el día y la hora?
Sí,
¿Cómo puedes contactarnos?
pues puedes contactarnos por internet.
Pero esos están ahí en la escuela.
Sí.
Pregúntales.
Okay.
Diles que no te habías fijado, que sí se viene, y ese dinero ellos lo tienen en la oficina, o que si la cartera aparece, sí. Mire, ¿cómo puede, que si hay alguna manera de recuperar ese dinero que se te perdió? Sí. Pero no se te olvide, por favor. Ok. No vas a olvidar. Ok. Aquí nos vemos mañana. ¿A dónde? Gimnasio. ¿Cuál hora quiere decir? ¿Como a las 11? Sí. ¿Tienes tiempo? Sí. Ok, buenas noches. Buenas noches.
When Viacom and CBS emerged, they began rebranding and using that like crazy, especially CBS Media Ventures level. As a graphic designer, I love the world of typography. Yep. And that became the basis for what I'm using right now. What else? There's two fonts that I really love. That one that I'm using, and also Highway Gothic. Highway Gothic is the font that's used nationwide across all green highway signs. I wish Fox had the same fashion for on-screen design and typography as the other networks do. Yeah, Fox honestly has not had the best graphics. CBS, um, generally they've had some darn good graphics. Fox, there's only 4 packages with, or 3 or 2 that I'm willing to give it to them. Apart from that, Fox hasn't really cooked up well in that sector. What else? I remember in 2006, I believe, or 2005, one of those years, the Fox truck that they were supposed to bring to handle the graphics for one of the games, I believe it was in Denver. It was 49ers versus Broncos. The truck had some issues, and they had to borrow from one of their local Fox affiliates their production truck or whatever, or whatever machinery they used to get those graphics, and they ended up using what's back then the regional Fox Sports graphics, like what you would see on FSN Southwest back in 2007, or yeah, from 2005 to 2008. That was actually kind of funny. I use Highway Gothic on my novels cover. Yeah, that's another font that I love. I never heard of that happening before. That's crazy. Yep. And one of these days, I'll show you an example. Here though in Texas and Arkansas also, and Alabama to an extent also, and Louisiana, but mainly Texas, they love to use Clearview. And Texas prefers Clearview over Highway Gothic, generally. There are some occasions where they have used Highway Gothic, or, made like some kind of
hybrid, except for the exit only sign, the yellow. There's a yellow thing that says exit only. That's highway Gothic almost always, but otherwise they use Clearview on all signs.
I'm gonna move this here. Okay. And there's that article from KTLA. Okay. Let's pull up YouTube. Let's go here. What's going on Jag FM? Clearview has lighter weight on it than Highway Gothic. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yep, the old one looks more old-fashioned. The old one does. And the new one, the current one, with with Clearview, excuse me, looks more modern, more contemporary. Clearview has more kerning on it. Industry term to explain the spacing between letters. Yeah, so Highway Gothic, I guess, is more lean, and Clearview is more, I guess, skinnier font. That I can see. What else? Highway Gothic looks like what would happen if Clearview ate at McDonald's every day. LOL. Yep. Eat some more. Let Highway Gothic eat some more, and then it'll become like what Nikocado Avocado was once. Yeah. Right. So moving along, there's one thing I'd like to acknowledge, and that is Jenna Jameson. She has been baptized in Christianity. She was once at one point well, she was first Catholic. She was raised Catholic, but um, then she turned into Judaism when she married one of her previous partners, and then recently she turned into a born again Christian. That's what it says. Um, Apparently, she was baptized in September, but only until November did the news break out. Just figured out I'd mention that. And to that I say congratulations on that milestone. May may she move along in this journey. It's not going to be easy, definitely. There's going to be moments where she will fall, but we pray for the best for her. That's nice to hear. Sounds like she's gone through a lot within her religious journey, but it's come to a major pivotal point. Yeah. Believe it or not, one of the most popular actresses, or stars, I mean, in the adult industry, turned back to Christianity at 51 years old. If that could happen, then anything is possible. No doubt about it. It's always heartwarming to hear people come to God. Yeah. I was gonna say this earlier. I was gonna acknowledge this earlier in the week, but it just slipped through. I did try to record some shorts, but I did not. I wasn't happy with how they sounded or how they came across. But regardless, her giving her life to God is one of the most important accomplishments humankind can ever make. Truly is. With God, anything is possible. People just need to seek Him, and they can turn from their old sinful ways and become followers of Christ. Exactly. And likewise, people are going to be onto her regardless, because there's people who are saying, she was, you're telling me that she's actually turning to Christianity? I don't believe her. She's just a puppet. She's just using this as a stunt. Well, first of all, don't judge. Second of all, journeys don't take just a few minutes or days or months, or it takes a long time. It really does. So, regardless of what is actually happening, welcome her with open arms. That's what we can do as Christians, and that's what we shall strive to do. And that's what we should do always. Welcome them with open arms. I remember when Kanye West converted to Christianity a few years ago, a lot of people were attacking him, saying it was just a publicity stunt. He was in Houston and held a major concert at Lakewood Church when that happened. Yeah. Personal life. Religious beliefs. And the Son of Jesus walks us. Serve multiple God to be open money. Love Jesus Christ and love Christianity. Yeah, I haven't heard from Kanye West in a hot while. Not ever since what happened at that event with some dresses and stuff. I won't go into detail, but I haven't heard from him in a while. I hope he's doing all right and that he continues to put God above all things. And who knows, maybe stepping out from that spotlight is necessary for that to happen. Oh, Sunny 99 won Flip to Christmas music today. Galley Furniture's Mattress Mac did the honors. So, I guess Mattress Mac was the Santa Claus that did that performed the switch. I'm just using it in that context because I believe he said that sometimes they have Santa Claus doing the switch to Christmas music. So they now are Sunny 99.1 Christmas radio. Let's go. Let me see if I can pull up the final. Okay. Santa Claus was in the studio as well, along with Mattress Mac and Rod Ryan from 94.5, The Buzz, and several kids. Yep. It was at this moment that Christmas was played. I can't wait to write my next novel that takes place during Christmas. Me and her will be the ones pulling the big switch. So you two will be performing the honors. So, Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You. The first song to play in this Christmas run. In this year's run, well, at least for now, the last song, Open Your Heart, to play before the switch. I think my half-brother, Austin, he saw Mattress Mac. I can't remember when, but I think he saw him at a concert or something. Yeah, it's a hotly popular song on Cine. It's always the first song they play when they switch, and always number one when they do the top 20 Christmas songs in Houston. And it's also featured in the National Recording Registry of the Library of Congress. I love Mattress Mac. He loves his customers, he loves his business, and most importantly, he loves God. Yeah, I'd say that Mattress Mac is kind of like, in a way, Brother Gary. In fact, I'd say Brother Gary is like the Mattress Mac of Victoria. I don't think he sells furniture, but regardless, same kind of vibes. Oh, there's more to this. Instagram Reel. Ah, there it is. They're inside the studios, in the room.
Mattress Mac in the studio here. Getting ready for the big countdown to Christmas music. Now we have got London and Briggs and London and Sailor and Santa, Mattress Mac. We've got Rod Ryan. We've got Mo. We've got everyone here. Do you guys all know how to count backwards from 10? Yeah. Are you guys ready for the Christmas music? So I want to hear it. Yes! Yes! Ready to do it. Are you ready? 10,
9, 8.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Put him in frame.
Merry Christmas! 99.1 Houston's best variety, the 80s, 90s, and today, and we are getting ready, guys. We've got
So at 4:56, you'd have been listening to Madonna, and then that comes on there, and I'm like, oh, finally Christmas music. I was listening live when they were doing this switch. Yep. Exactly how it's played out. Too bad that they don't show Mattress Mac pulling the lever or whatever switch. They show Mattress Mac, but they don't show him like or pushing a button or whatever. Or at least he's not in the frame when that happens. And going further into some Houston area activities, it looks like I-69 is extended into Cleveland along 59. Yeah, apparently it's announced that in Cleveland they've extended I-69 all the way to the north end of the Cleveland bypass. And they also had some signs installed there. Oh, there's another link. Could this be the one that I'm looking for? Oh, there he is.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's beautiful. A very tiny piece of I-69 runs through Mississippi, right at the border near Memphis, Tennessee. Yep, and Mississippi, they're running low on funds. Mississippi is apparently one of the poorest states in all of the United States. Um, so they probably can't even afford to extend I-69 or work on some projects or something to that extent. The only spoiler I'm going to give in my coming sequel is that we're in Summy Studios and me and her are getting the countdown and I'm getting ready to pull the big switch. The first song, Wonderful Christmas Time by Paul McCartney. Wonderful Christmas time. I probably shouldn't sing it or else I'll get a copyright message again. Because YouTube is sensitive. But yeah, that is my all-time favorite Christmas song. Everybody else hates it, but it's my favorite. For some reason, it reminds me of when someone is eating a hot dog. The Frank, they just eat the hot dog without the bread or without condiments, just the Frank itself, and they're just eating it. That's what it reminds me of. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, but it would be a bit of an explanation that I'd have to give. I don't know. The way the hot dog feels, like the texture, it's kind of bouncy or rubbery. Well, not. Is it rubbery? Well, it has that bouncy kind of texture to it. And it has like these small, tiny, microscopic granules that I feel when I'm chewing on it. And that's what it reminds me of. I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it otherwise than other than the fact that it's just a me thing. For me, another thing that I like to do is, we talked about Bloom's taxonomy one time at EDUC class. And then I always kept saying Bloom's taxidermy. Taxonomy and taxidermy. So I don't know. I guess my mind is just unusual in comparison to other minds. Sorry. I first heard that song, by the way, from Paul McCartney when I was watching Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, a movie from the 90s. $1998 animated movie. I heard that song as a kid, both at Mervin's as well as at Academy. Yeah. I didn't even know that it was from 1980, I believe. Yeah, it's from 1980. Or 1979, actually. Regardless, I do listen to it. And that song is an A-OK on my book. Other favorites include Last Christmas, Run Rudolph Run, and Little Saint Nick, and anything from Andy Williams. If I'm being honest, Wonderful Christmas Time, and what else? Happy Christmas, War is Over. Apart from that, Christmas songs in general, I don't know why, but they always feel so bittersweet for me, especially nowadays. It's something that I can't explain, but what else? The Jimmy Eat World remake of of Last Christmas is all right, but any of the other remakes are vomit. And also 99.3 KSVJ will switch to Christmas music. Oh, speaking of music, here's some songs that Jack FM has added from back when they switched. I think it was October 29th when they officially switched to their new playlist for the fiscal year of 2025-26. So they have added Just Dance, Ramble On, Lady Gaga Just Dance, Led Zeppelin, Ramble On. They've also added a new version of Stained called It's Been a While without the amended at the end. So it might be the original It's Been a While. What else? They added the off-screen Gone Away, Bush, Everything Zen. They have also added a bunch of songs from the Beastie Boys, Intergalactic, Brass Monkey, I think Sabotage. And they also occasionally add something called Paul Revere. And they also added Head Over Heels from Tears for Fears. Jack FM is slowly morphing into Sunday 99.1, a mix of 2000s hits with classics. Yeah. There's more songs on the way from that. They've also messed with a bunch of the thumbnails for many of these songs. So many of these, like if you're looking at songs from Madonna, they've changed from the Immaculate Collection album cover to whatever that song's album is. If you're listening, Michael Jackson Thriller, it's turned from the greatest hits of all time, or the essential, excuse me, the essential Michael Jackson to the Thriller cover. They've also added a thumbnail for Can't Stop, which just had a music symbol. They've also changed the Michael Jackson Beat It. For Bon Jovi, It's My Life. It's now, uh, it's one of those greatest hits albums covers with that golden logo. Head Over Heels can be heard on occasionally on Sunny and the Spot. Yeah. Oh, and never mind. Let me see. Jack 94.3. Let me see if I can pull up some. It is possible that the record labels may have supplied the cover art for certain songs that didn't have it, and also mandated that they change them to others. Maybe. Um, okay. They have re-added the Talking Heads, Burning Down the House. Edwin Collins, A Girl Like You. Let's see. Dave Matthews Band, What Would You Say? That's been retained. They added a new song I never heard from Blink 182 called First Date. Duran Duran, Rio. Alive and Kicking has been retained and perhaps even promoted to one of the higher priority songs on the list. One Republic, Counting Stars, has been re-added. Gin Blossoms, Found Out About You. Smashing Pumpkins, Tonight Tonight. ZZ Top Legs has been re-added. Georgia Satellites, Keep Your Hands to Yourself, and St. Elmo's Fire has been reintroduced. No Doubt, Hey Baby, Sunday Morning. Those are a couple of the songs that have been added. Ants Marching from Dave Matthews Band. Rio Can Be Heard on the Spot or the Eagle. Door to Satellites hasn't been heard on the spot since 2019. Well, I guess it's a very Jack FM thing in that case. Take It to the Limit, Sunday Morning. I'm just looking over everything. MJ, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Around the World. Thanks for the Memories, for Fall Out Boys. Groove Is in the Heart occasionally plays as well. Daughtry, or Daughtery, It's Not Over. Let's see. But yeah, that's a couple of the. Oh, and also Kid Rock, Badidawa, or whatever it's called. Or Badit Waba. Those are just a couple of the songs that I have listened to. Or not listened to, but I've seen being featured on Jack FM. Many of those songs I haven't heard on any of these stations around here. Yeah, Jack FM, it's one of those stations I love because it's so unique in what it does. It's like having a platypus as a pet. It's so unique and unheard of in many of these things that it does. And that's why I love it. Yes, it could turn out dull many times and stale, but it has impressed. I think Cumulus, who got rid of Jack FM, should flip KRBE. Yeah. But the question is, would Jack FM allow them to use the current playlist that they have over there that they're using right now? Or would they basically force them to use the source that they have? The same source that 98.7 Jack FM uses and a bunch of other stations from Jack FM. Which, by the way, I think it's an online source, not necessarily physical, but it's online. Another question, could Jack FM trust Cumulus after they had already given them the boot once already? Probably. I think Cumulus was just shutting down some underperforming radio stations. Usually, whenever they shut down and they're fresh from shutting down, I don't think that they would shut down again for a while. And it's not just Jack FM that got shut down. It was some other stations across the nation too. But I could never tell. Yeah. Switching to another thing, and this might be the final thing for this stream. Yesterday, because it's 1 a.m., yesterday, which was Friday, yesterday's song of the day, and the song of Thursday as well, Jamie McDonald, Desperate. I heard it on KBNJ Corpus Christi. Cumulus flipped Jack FM to an alternative format. It got shut down in 2012 when they sold the 103.7 signal to EMF. I'm pretty sure Cumulus already has other Jack FM stations operating. I could be wrong though. Yeah, we would have to see. Desperate plays on KSBJ quite a bit. Isn't the Corpus Christi station a simulcast of KSBJ? Well, I hear the bumpers on KBNJ Corpus Christi, and they say, a ministry of Inspiricom inspiring your life. Let's look at KBNJ. life-changing 91.7 FM. Owner World Radio Network Incorporated. Now let's look at a KSBJ. That's owned by Hope Media Group. So KBNJ is, I believe, independent from KSBJ, or yeah, independent from that. So completely different. Which, by the way, KSBJ has repeaters at in Brenham, Livingston, Navasota, and El Campo, and Liberty, and translator, which relays the El Campo station in Victoria. But yeah, KBNJ is completely different, which is from in Spiricom. I think Spiricom, if I'm not mistaken, potentially serves smaller markets. Corpus, I believe, is a smaller market compared to Houston. I just think it happens that KSBJ did not want to expand into Corpus. Remember a long time ago I sent you the legal ID from 2009 or so? I had all those repeater. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, funny enough, in Victoria, the way that they do it is they literally have the translator for feeding in the signal from El Campo, which I think is kind of weird. Houston to El Campo to Victoria. That's interesting. But yeah, I really love to hear Desperate. KSBJ studios are in Humble, so they need a lot of repeaters to go out that way. Gotcha. I wonder if one of these days we'll have repeaters for Sunny 99.1 or whatever. The Spot. Or, well, I don't know. We'll see. Oh man. It would be nice if they had it for Houston stations. Port Lavaca and Victoria aren't that far away. Yeah. I will say though that if hopefully it don't pull out the market from Victoria. The Jack FM market, because if that happened, then maybe it would leave Jack FM futile, because the Spot and Sunny, they're more personalized to the taste of other stations. I mean, Port Lavaca is close enough that Dish carries KTRK over there. Yeah. Um, Also, they have to uh, contractually carry that there because Victoria is not a big enough market for Dish to carry it here. Now, we could carry the stations from Victoria here in Port Lavaca, but that would be by means of traditional indoor antennas and more low budget stuff because it's a small market. But Dish carries big market stuff like Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, all that. It's similar to how the people of Beaumont don't have a PBS affiliate, so they pull in KUHT. Yeah, exactly. Um, and I don't think they're ever going to have a PBS affiliate, especially after the Corporation of Public Broadcasting has been, I guess, defunded. PBS has its days numbered. Seeing that Houston is so close, basically saying why spend the money. And yeah, that's one part. Another part is the current outlook on PBS is not good. And don't be surprised if we don't see PBS in the next 10 years. PBS might be gone. Like, real gone. I mean, not that I watch it, but it will be gone. In fact, I don't watch a lot of TV. I just watch TV to watch the sports in it. You're right. Days apart. Yep. Public broadcasting are numbered. They are. And then classics like Julia Child, which is not being broadcasted here, but still. What else? Bob Ross, um, Stargazer, um, all of these other things. They'll have to move to different networks, I guess. PBS could end up going private. Knowing David Ellison, he will probably poach them right after buying Warner Brothers. Oh, can you imagine? The Paramount Educational Television or something. I don't know. We'll have, instead of PBS, we'll have PET. And with how lax they are about these acquisitions, owning CBS won't be an issue. Whew. I heard that they have a deadline for when the Warner Brothers Discovery bid would be made, or whatever decision would be made regarding that. I can't remember if it was in November or December. I think at least no later than Christmas Day, there would have to be some sort of decision on the way. the bids are due on the 20th, just a few days from now. Oh, so already? Okay. Well, that's awesome. Hopefully Paramount can meet the demand, or whatever demands that Warner Brothers Discovery will make. We've already discussed what they'll bid for and how they'll trim the fat. So Ellison is not going to give up without a fight. I know he is going to try to counter the others should they be successful. Yeah. And also, he's now got the backing from his father, Larry Ellison, owner of Oracle. Just as we talked about Larry Ellison, he owns Oracle, and he's going to use some of his funds from Oracle to fund the bid for WBD. This is what Disney did when Comcast outbid them for Fox. They counterbid and KO'd Comcast. KO! Oh, poor Comcast. They tried fair and square or whatever, but in the end, they get screwed over. Well, who knows how Comcast would have handled Fox. Who knows? Larry Ellison, as well as the private equity of Paramount Skydance, could all step in. Yeah, they probably will. Okay. I think now is a good time to wind down and get ready to end this stream. So, we've covered some of Leviticus. Let's see how many pages we are until the end. Leviticus 24, 25, about 7.5 or 7.7 remaining until the end of Leviticus. So, what do we cover? Laws concerning the priests and laws of the holy days and atonement. Okay, so Carranza family, and Adam, and then Christian. Thank you for coming in. Can we have a prayer before we close? Absolutely. Yeah, so here's what I'm gonna do for today, sunrise. I'm probably going to have a part 1 and part 2. So part 1, we're going to read, if it allows it, let's see, 24 and 25. And then for part 2, we'll read 26 and 27 of Leviticus. So that's the plan for today, the 15th. By the way, can you believe it? Texas A&M Kingsville is only going to give me 2 days for Thanksgiving. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday I have to go to class. Thankfully, Wednesday I just have one class at 9, and then I'm free the rest of the day, so I can travel back home to Wednesday, so that's good. Okay, so I think, yeah, that's it. Let's end this with a prayer. Father, thank you for everything. Um, Thank you for being in each and every thing that you do and that we do. Thank you, Lord, for being our source of encouragement, of faith, and of happiness. Lord, um, we ask that through your word we may harness your eternal message. Lord, I also like to ask for Jenna Jameson and her journey. Allow her, when she struggles, to regain her footing. Do not depart from her. Do not depart from her, Lord. But instead, when she falls down in what seems like a rabbit hole, bring her back up to reality so that she may walk with you. May she recognize that her life is in Jesus' hands and that she will be saved. Lord, I also pray for that headlamp person who is starting their business. May you give them the knowledge, the blessing, and the drive to move forward with that business so that they may thrive. May his business be multiplied in earnings. And also I pray for Tiffany. May she rest in peace at your side, Lord, and that her family may be comforted, her immediate family and married family. Comfort them, let them know that you're there, and that her life is in her hands, in your hands, Jesus. Sorry. But it's never easy to witness the death of a human being. But Lord, as long as we have you, warring shall not be an issue. Lord, in each of these readings that we make of your precious word, give us the knowledge that you want us to have. Let us be filled by the Holy Spirit and use us as instruments to spread the word, the one and only true word that you provide, Lord. And yeah, Lord, I pray for my parents, I pray for Christian, I pray for Adam, I pray for Metro, and I pray for Lando. That in general, each and every difficulty, I also pray for my friends at the BSM, at CSO, and Chi Alpha in Kingsville, that any of these obstacles that are brought upon us, that we may use them for good and not for what the devil intends to use them for. Thank you, Lord, for being always full of grace and full of graciousness. Your name is mighty, and we just pray that we may retain the faith every time. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you. When I was at school at ICC and Art Institutes, it was the same as well. We only got 2 days. No way. Same as me? That's crazy. I think for Victoria College, we got the full week. Yeah, we got a full week off during Thanksgiving at Victoria College, so I don't know. Something doesn't feel right. In a way, it was 4 days: Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and the weekend. I guess so. Yeah, my mom always looks not the weekend, but the weekdays. What are your Thanksgiving plans? Um, we were planning to go down to Tennessee to visit some family and yeah, pretty much visit family and I'm not sure. Probably probably some parties cuz well, my family, they love eating Hardee's whenever they're in Tennessee. It's called Carl's Jr. here in Texas, but in the eastern states it's Hardee's. Um, yeah, apart from that, it's just family. But when I found out it was only going to be for 2 days, uh, that pretty much put a wrench in our plans, and now we're just gonna stay home. We're not gonna do anything. Well, maybe go to Victoria. Maybe Victoria. But apart from that, I have no immediate plans. We're probably just gonna watch the Chiefs take on the Cowboys and the Lions, whatever they're playing, and Sunday Night Football. Carl's Jr. had a brief stint in Houston. I never got to try them, but they were here for about 3 years or so. Yep. And there's also Angleton. Carl's Jr. is in Angleton. Oh man, still got the sniffles, but it's gonna get better. As long as God is working in me, it's gonna get better. The Angleton location is their last remaining Houston area location. That's kind of sad. Carl's Jr. It's in a Loves. Yep, I've been there a couple of times and it's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Um, yeah. It. What are some burgers? You can never go wrong with their char-broiled burgers. That flame grill taste can't be beat. Yep, as Flight says, that char grill taste over Floyd, brain with a foil grill. That's what he says. He tried to say char-broiled grill taste, uh, but he screwed up, and it came really awkward. But nevertheless, yes, that's really good. Um, what else? Um, Moo Moo. Uh, we have a restaurant called Moo Moo's fried chicken or hamburgers and chicken or whatever. Um, they got some pretty beefy burgers. It's flavorful. What else? Sonic, believe it or not, I enjoy Sonic. I always love to eat their cheeseburgers. Their patties are pretty beefy, low key. Um, what else? Um, Culver's, it's pretty good. It tastes sort of like a backyard burger, a thin backyard burger, like a not one of those thick patties that look like Juicy Lucy. Sounds so delicious. Now I want a burger. Yeah. Um, But yeah, Culver's uses those typical uh, normal size patties, not the big ones, but it still tastes like a backyard burger. Um, Five Guys. Yes, I have gone to Five Guys, and I gotta say their burger, it tastes similar to Whataburger, except it's got sesame seed buns. This the last Loves I went to had an Arby's. I need to try Arby's next in Kingsville. That's the one place I've seen, but I never really got to think to go to. Um, and of course, Wendy's. Wendy's, it's beefy, but it just needs salt. If you add salt to it, it's gonna unlock some potential that was hidden, and it's gonna open your world. Especially that Baconator. Carl's Jr. and Arby's are owned by Rourke Capital. Yeah, they are. All right. I am hotly considering getting a Baconator tomorrow. Go for it. Yes, it's not the healthiest burger, but um, if you want to give it a shot, then go for it. Definitely. Um, yeah. I don't know what I'm going to eat for today. Maybe we'll go out. Maybe we'll have a meal in home. Um, but yeah, it's a good thing I went to Golden Chick today in Refugio. That's how it's pronounced, Refugio. Or if you're Mexican or you speak Spanish, it would be called Refugio. Over there, they have a restaurant called Golden Chick, which is like a Bush's Chicken or a Raising Cane's or a Chicken Express. I never heard of Golden Chick before, but it looks appetizing. Golden Chick has a location not far from me, but I haven't been there. Yeah, I've tried their big and golden sandwich. I think that's what it's called. I had it at 12, I believe, or a little before 12. I was just getting home from Kingsville, and I was halfway through there. So I stopped at Golden Chick and quickly ordered and ate in the dining room. And although I couldn't taste it well because my sinuses were clogged, what I could make out of it is the buns are sweet, there's pickles, and the chicken breast is it's a flaky crust or batter. I mean, it's fried and it's juicy and moist, definitely, and it's got more texture to it. I would still give the best chicken sandwich to Popeyes. I think Popeyes has a better mouthfeel in general, but Golden Chick is actually not bad. I've seen their commercials. That chicken looks crazy appetizing. Oh yeah, it's flaky batter, and it's juicy and it's moist. I had a spicy chicken sandwich and red beans and rice from Popeyes for dinner today. Wow. Next time I go to Popeyes, I need to get some of that red beans and rice because I haven't tried that before. I remember when we got Popeyes from the football team. They would order some Popeyes for us, and they would uh, give us some tenders with some uh, with a biscuit. I think potentially gravy. I'm not too sure. And one of those apple pies. Oh, those were the good old memories. Back when the old Harbor Bridge was there. But hey, that new Harbor Bridge is a new marvel and landmark in the making. In fact, Texas has to audit that as one of the historical landmarks once it reaches the right age. And it should be protected in Texas culture. Yeah. Oh man, that is an old memory that I had. Okay. I think that I think now I will go. Yeah. I'm gonna take a bath and then I'm gonna go sleep. Once I got here, I slept for 4 hours starting at 2, and then I woke up at 6. So I got some sleep ahead of time. But regardless, I still need to sleep. That extra sleep that I had for 4 hours does help. Does help me get my head straight, so yeah. Have a great weekend, brother, and God bless. Thanks for chatting with me tonight. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for coming. And if you do happen to stop by tomorrow, then we'll do a part 1 and then we'll do part 2, which will be the end of Leviticus. So we're going to read 2 chapters and then 2 chapters. So take care, folks. Take care. And thank you, Carranza family. Thank you, Team S.O.S. And thank you, Christian Gonzalez. I'm going to sign off right now. Sleep deep, rise and shine bright, and go in peace, and seek the love of the Lord. Thank you.